What's up, everyone? Another episode of Shoebooty Sports coming at you Tuesday night. This is your host, Graham Powell, co-host Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Yeah, all right. That's a good day though, isn't it? We're at evening at this point. Who cares? It's all good.
I,
That's
I don't
close
know.
enough. That's close enough. Anyway, bilingual on this show. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your favorite fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. And once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, they will ship you your award by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoebooty Sports, on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Shoebooty Sports. Okay, so let's touch up on the World Series a little bit. Game 4 going on right now. Of
Yeah.
course, it was a good game last night. I did not see any of it, but except the highlights. I was at the Grizzlies game last night, first NBA game. Awesome experience. We'll get into that a little bit for those of you watching. I'm very Memphis out right now. Got my got full on Grizzlies gear on. But yeah, amazing experience and pretty good game too. And game by Luca, absolute superstar. But yeah, close game last night, not so close tonight as far as the World Series is going. It was 10-0 by the midway through the third inning, and it's now 10-1. Diamondbacks have cut it to 9, and it's the end of the fifth as we speak. Rangers are in the driver's seat right now. Looks like they are going to close this one out. This isn't minor league ball or high school ball or even college ball. You're not going to come back from a 10-run deficit, not in the big leagues, and especially when the two best teams in the league are playing each other right now. So at least the two hottest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Rangers in the driver's seat. Bruce Bochy on his way to his fourth World Series championship as a manager. First year with the Rangers, get them to the World Series, and it's not over. I mean, it's not over. The Diamondbacks. I mean, they were down 3-2 to Philly in the NLCS and won the last two games in Philadelphia, which was it's probably the hardest place to win a game as the road team, at least amongst the teams that were left in that were in the postseason this year. So I'm not counting them out. I wouldn't be surprised if they win game 5. And if they win game 5, who knows? But I don't see them beating, because I see this as a pretty evenly matched team. I guess I would have put money on the Rangers going into it if I were a betting man. I would have picked the Rangers, but they're fairly even on paper, I would say. But 3-1, I don't think, especially when you got two even teams like that, I don't think you're going to be able to beat the other 3 times in a row. And I don't know. Texas may do that, in game 5 and just close the thing out, especially after a dominant game like this. But we'll see what happens. I think I'll say Rangers in 6. Uh, yeah, but it's been entertaining. You've had 2 really good games and they've alternated. Like game 1, really good game, very entertaining. Game 2, didn't see it, blowout win by the Diamondbacks. Didn't see game 3, very close game though. Rangers pull that one out, and then tonight it's just a blowout, but in the Rangers' favor. So maybe game 5 will be close. We'll see. How much of this series have you gotten to see, and kind of your thoughts on it in general?
Haven't got to watch a lot of it. Got to watch a little bit of game 1. Watched a little bit of game 2 until I thought it was too out of hand, so I turned it off. Missed game 3, and I have not got the chance to watch any of this game tonight. So
Well,
yeah.
I've been on
Uh,
my computer. Like I said, got a big meeting tomorrow. I've got to prepare for away from Shoebooty Sports, but yeah, I've had the game on, and it's just been bomb after bomb. Every time I hear the crack of a bat, I look up. Corey Seager has really, I mean, he's really come on this World Series. I think he hit his third home run. I think that was his third home run of the World Series tonight, and it's been all Rangers tonight. It's been entertaining. My kind of love for baseball has because I've always loved baseball. I've never stopped loving baseball, but I've liked it less. Like in the last
Yes.
15 years. I would go back even that far. I've
Same.
just it's just not, as a kid, I mean, baseball was my first love, because that's what I got to play first. So,
Yeah.
and my teams had some success. Little league teams had some success, so it made it even more fun when you're winning. And you go through high school and all that and play. You just continue to carry on. But then we got to play football and things like that. And there's nothing like Friday nights, in the South, during football season. So I mean, I still loved baseball then, but my love for football really grew, and baseball kind of took a back seat. And nothing will ever top football for me as far as a love of sports. But yeah, my interest in baseball has really come back to life this year. And like, the local minor league team, Travelers, here were good. Had a really good team this year. That made it fun. I went to a lot of games this year, but the postseason has been fun in Major League Baseball. And I haven't had a dog. I haven't had a dog in the fight really. I mean, I jumped on the Phillies bandwagon, but even with them out, this has been an entertaining World Series. And I have to think some of it has to do a little bit with the rule changes. Speeding up the game. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a traditionalist. I'm very open to improving the game if you can improve it. I have to think subliminally, at least the rule changes have had a little bit to do with the games being more interesting, especially the way that today's game is now. Where it's just power hitting and power pitch, and power pitchers. You get strikeouts or long balls, and it's made the game more boring. And how do you counter that? You speed it up. You force the game to speed up. You come up with some rule changes. You do away with the shift, allow more offense, more runs to be scored, make it more interesting. I have to think that has a little something to do with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can speed up the game, the pitch clock, I don't know. That's the major rule change that I like. Just speeds up the game a little bit. You don't have them dragging out 4.5 hours anymore. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm all for changing it for the better, but I don't know. I don't know what the bigger bases have to do with anything, but I guess we'll let that one slide.
I mean, the players are bigger now. Guys like Aaron Judge weren't playing in the 1920s when they made the bases the size that they were. People are just bigger now. During the Ty Cobb years, you didn't have guys that were 6'4", 260 with six packs playing. They were all 5'10" and a buck 40. You know what I
I'm sure
mean?
they had some six packs in the dugout.
I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure they did. Just and in their stomachs too. But yeah, guys back then weren't 290, and 6'7" running the bases. So, and you were expecting those guys to run on the same bases that those guys in the early 1900s were running on. I get why you want to you know, increase the size of the back, especially as a former first baseman. When it doesn't, even if your foot's just on the corner, that runner who's just gunning it down the first baseline to try to beat out a throw from short or third base, he's not always going to be accurate stepping on the bag. He's going to step on the back of
Yeah.
your heel or something, like I've had happen a time or two with me. So, as a former first baseman, I'm all for that. Like I get it. Yeah, just making the base bigger. I can see like just the players bigger. I mean, that's the big difference there. That's the only reason I would think that they did that. Just players are bigger now. I think even the commissioner said that before the season started when these rules started to come into play. But yeah, I like the changes. You've got to the whole thing with evolution, man, just in general, you adapt or perish. Baseball hadn't made any changes in, I don't know, man. I mean, when's the last time Major League Baseball made any kind of significant change?
You got me, man.
Yeah,
Couple of decades,
yeah. Allowing
probably more than a couple.
Allowing African Americans to play, is that the last major change? Like, I mean, the point
Probably.
is, yeah, the point is people don't that baseball is the last sport that's ever wanted to make any serious changes. And you see sports like the NFL, who, I mean, they're looking to make things better every year. It doesn't always work that way, but they're always looking for ways to improve the game. Major League Baseball, this commissioner is fairly new. I don't know how new, but he's fairly new, and that's good. You got new blood in there, someone that's open to changes, and I think this is good, for the league. It's not going to make traditionalists happy, but you want to get eyes on your product, and more eyes are, you know, viewing this product now. So I think overall it's been good, and we're seeing the result of that just in the competition. Better games, uh, I would think more viewers. I don't know. I don't have the numbers, but because I can't just count myself as well, I like it more, so everybody must feel that way. But just speaking from personal experience, it's been more entertaining, this year, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that's had an effect on. But okay, yeah, we're about finished with baseball. Happy Halloween, by the way, everyone. October
Oh
31st.
yes.
Yeah, didn't even mention it. My favorite holiday, and didn't even mention it. I thought about wearing a mask, but then I would be burning up. I can't imagine how the sound would muffle through a mask. And it's only a 40-minute show, and I'd be burning up 5 minutes into it, and just sweating on the microphone through the mask. We don't need that. So yeah, just happy Halloween, everyone. Uh, yeah, got to give a quick shout out to my favorite holiday. That last sentence or two made no sense, but it's all good. We'll pretend to edit that out later, and y'all can just listen to it as is. All right. So let's talk about my Grizzlies gear. Got to spend some time on this. Went to my first NBA game last night, downtown Memphis, FedEx Forum. Can't have a better spot for that. Right by, like, you're right on Beale Street, and you got the Forum right there, and just everything you would want is there. And dude, it was amazing. I was essentially courtside. I was the first row that wasn't the seats on the court. So you have your
Nice.
2 rows of chairs, and then you got me in the in the first section of seats behind it. I mean, it was cool. You got to actually hear. Shout out to my uncle Wade, by the way, uh for the tickets, by the way, for hooking everyone up with that. But yeah, man, you could hear the ball dribbling. You could hear the players talking back and forth, talking trash, talking to the officials. Like, they played Dallas. Like, Luca was literally 20 feet from me, at one point. Like, that's just, I'm like, Luca's right there. Like, that's cool. And you see all these stars, and the first thing that pops, like, we went down for shoot around, pregame shoot around. And you see Derrick Rose, who's with Memphis, who's an icon in Memphis just from his days playing with the Memphis Tigers. But you see him, you see Marcus Smart down there, and the thing that and this, like, that guys who are like guards and stuff are bigger in real life than you see on TV compared
Yep.
to the 6'10" guys that they're playing with. But it doesn't hit you until you're on their level. Like, that's the thing. I was down there on their level. Like, Marcus Smart is a big dude. Like, he is a big dude. And you wouldn't necessarily know it just looking on TV, with all he's playing with and everything. But that's the first thing that sticks out is they're all big. Two, they do not miss and shoot around. Like they don't miss and shoot around. Like Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart were they probably hit 11 shots in a row before they missed one. Like it was wild. And then I go about I'm like the end of the first quarter. Like it's a good game. At least early. Dallas pulled away late, and yeah, Memphis brought it within I think 6 at one point early in the fourth, and then Dallas just steadily pulled away from there. Of course, basketball is a game of runs, as we all know. But we're like near the end of the first quarter, and I just look over and I see Jason Kidd, who coaches Dallas, just standing on the, just standing up where coaches usually stand, and just being a coach. And I was like, I'm looking at all this, and I don't even notice like Jason Kidd, a Hall of Fame point guard, one of my favorite players growing up, just standing right there across the court from me. Like that's pretty neat. Didn't go all fangirl or anything like that, but it was just the moment was like the realism of everything just kind of hits you, and it was pretty neat. The amazing experience. Had me a $13.49 beer. That was about this tall. A full on 25 ouncer, I believe. My only knock is like they make you like you can't even buy like you can't even go refill your water bottle anywhere. Like they turn off the water fountains. They turn off the water to the water fountains. So they want you to pay for like everything, including water. So after my one thing of water, I was just drinking that Mick Ultra the rest of the time. I was like, well, I mean, this is pretty much water anyway. And we were staying literally across the street from the forum. So I was like, I'm good. Like I'll just sip on this Mick Ultra till it's time to go. And that worked out for me. That's my only critique. Like just come on, give me the water fountain at least. But yeah, I mean it was cold out, so it wasn't like I was sweating. But yeah, that's my only. I wouldn't even call it a knock. I would just say critique. Amazing experience. Uh, yeah, got me a hat after the game. Got me this shirt that I caught. Yes, I caught this shirt. You were calling BS before we hit record. But yeah, the guy was like he. I could tell he was looking at somebody behind me, like who he was aiming at to throw it to, and he tosses it. Just does a little toss like he's trying to toss it over a linebacker. And of course, I just like, nope. I just got up and I Oskied it away from him. I
Yeah,
was
so
like, yeah,
he's probably looking at a little kid. So
yeah. He was looking at that kid, and when I caught it, I turned around, I shoved him down, and then kicked him, and then gave him the bird after that.
yeah.
I was like, no, this is my shirt, little brat. And yeah, that was it. So I'm being sarcastic, everyone, that last part. But yes, I did catch a shirt, did Oski it from somebody, and means interception for those of you that aren't old heads. I don't know. They probably don't still say that, Oski. I don't know if they do
I'm
or
I'm,
not.
I'm sure they still say that.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, like my dad's generation said it, and we were taught to say it in practice. So hopefully that's something that's still going. Of course, we haven't suited up in 20 years, so I wouldn't know. I haven't sat in on a. I have as a former reporter, I did sit in on high school football practices every now and then, but I didn't hear that. But I can't say I was paying attention to it either. But yeah, awesome experience. Have you been to an NBA game?
Yes, I have. I don't know, probably about 8 years ago, I got to go to two NBA games in Minneapolis. So I got to watch the Timberwolves play the Pacers on two different occasions. So it was way back when where Kevin Love was on the ticket stub for Minnesota. So
At least they had somebody. I was going to say at least they had somebody during that time. I because
still have those ticket stubs. It's pretty cool to look at. And they're ginormous, man. They're huge. It's like a bowl game ticket.
that's the only thing that sucks about modern uh
Yeah.
tickets today going paperless is you don't get the ticket stubs. Like I even keep like the Arkansas Travelers ticket stubs I would get, in
Yeah.
Razorback football. And I would, gosh, I'd love to have a Grizzlies ticket stub,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's all on your phone now. You just scan it and
Some
that's
kids
it. So,
today are missing out, man.
yeah, like it's way more convenient. I get it. You don't have to worry about losing the tickets, all that. totally understand. But to have like that ticket stub, just like as that souvenir that you can look back
Yep.
on later, I mean, that is pretty neat. And the one thing I miss about not being able to, get to have that actual ticket in your hand. But
Yeah.
at the same time, way more convenient to have in your phone. So
Yeah.
I get it, but
Yeah.
yeah, be cool to have that stub still.
Mhm. And whenever I went, we actually had some pretty good seats. I don't think we were as close as you were. We were about 5 rows up. But yeah, you're right, man. Seeing those guys on TV versus seeing those guys in real life, completely different, man. Those guys are freaking ginormous, man. It's watching giants run across the floor. And yeah, they make the court look so freaking small. Like I don't know, man. It's crazy.
And you know that going into the game, you know that like
Yeah.
they are bigger in real life than you see on television. But when you actually see them up close, it still hits you, right? Like you can tell somebody how great, this burger or steak is. You can tell them how great it is. Trying to think of a comparison here. But then you go have like this steak at a, you know, 3-star restaurant and it like melts in your mouth and you're like, wow, it's exactly how they described it, but it didn't register until you actually experience it yourself.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, very cool experience. Very cool to be that close too. I mean, it just kept kind of hitting me like, wow, like Luca and Derrick Rose are right there. Like they were right there. Luca put up a triple double, by the way, had 35 points. Yeah, double digit rebound assist. Amazing performance from him, but Dallas won, I think 125 one's him, by the way. But that's Memphis has everybody hurt one and Jaw suspended. So there's
Yeah.
that.
It'd be fun to watch a jaw.
Oh gosh, yeah. That would be I'm gonna go back at some point and it's gonna be a Grizzlies game because they're 2 hours away. Like
Yeah.
Memphis is only 2 hours away from here in Cabot. So I'm definitely gonna go back and helps that my uncle goes all the time. Again, shout out Uncle Wade. But
I want to try and make it to a Thunder game this year. So
I'll try to make
We'll
it.
see how
Yeah,
that goes.
I'll try to make it to a Thunder game, and well, I'd say a few years when they have their 64 draft picks that they
Yeah.
go through. But it's going to be a lot more difficult to get a ticket then. Now would be the time to do it, I would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome experience. First NBA game. Definitely won't be my last. And I've gotten into hats, by the way. Like I've gotten into getting more hats, so I had to get one while I'm there. I like this one. It's yellow. It's got the Grizzlies, logo on it. It's different. I was even looking at like the old Vancouver Grizzlies ones, which they do have there. They do sell, but they're all like the flat bill, and I just
Yeah.
don't want to take the time to curve it myself and all that. So I was like, this one's
Sure.
ready to go. It fits my head perfectly. I like yellow. It's different because I have too many black hats. I was looking at a black one that was all black with the Grizzlies logo, and I was like, well, you can't even really tell what it is. One and two, I have way too many black hats already. I gotta switch it up. Got to get something different. So went with this one in my budget. It was just I was like, this is it. This is my hat, and this is my shirt because it was free. Yes, I did catch it. Intercepted it from that little kid. All right, so all right. Football. A lot going on in football this week. A
Oh
lot of
yeah.
injuries, a lot of trades today.
Yeah.
It was yeah, well, I saw today that dude, what is John Lynch doing as far as sweet talking these other general managers? He got Chase Young today for a third round pick. That's it. That
That's it.
scratches
Yeah.
that's a head
Crazy.
scratcher, man. And I know he's been hurt. I know he's been injured, but when he's been out there, he's been a problem, for opposing offenses, and yeah, to just give him away. You gave away a number 2 overall pick, to San Francisco, a contender. Now, I know they've lost 3 in a row, and people have gone from saying it's Brocktober to it's Brocktover. So, yeah, it's
Haven't
Hasn't
heard that one, but yeah, it's pretty
it,
good.
it hasn't been a good month for Brock Purdy. A lot of people are jumping off that bandwagon. I can understand it, but I'm not counting the 49ers out. But as the 49ers are going down, going downward, the Bengals are trajecting upward, just like Bengals fans were kind of, especially me, considering my fantasy team is the Bengals offense. I was hoping to see some improvement, and boy, did I get that this week.
Yeah.
Shout out to my fantasy team, by the way. 5-3 now. 5-3. Got two in a row now. Tied for the best record in the league. So it's a very kind of even league. So it's 5-3 is good enough to have the best record in my league right now. But yeah, Burrow and company, Mixon, Jamar Chase showed out. It's Bengals have as good of a shot as anyone right now. And for Burrow to do that, like with Joe Montana in attendance, like that's Burrow had a game, man. Did you see his numbers? He was like 28 to
Yeah.
32.
Yeah. Pretty impressive. Yeah, my bench killed it this week. The Chiefs killed me this week, and so I was handed my second loss of the season this past week. So still in first place, but man, I
But
need Taylor Swift at every freaking Chiefs game
yeah, they showed
because
the
Kelsey didn't touch
stats.
the ball at any of the second half. Man,
They showed the
it killed me.
stats with Taylor Swift in attendance. Kelsey has 100 yards receiving at the game
Yeah,
in the games that she's at, and when she's not there, it's like 48.
yeah.
Mahomes was also sick. I think he was coming off like the flu or something like that, right?
Looked like the whole damn team had the flu. Man, they had 4 turnovers. I mean, lost to the freaking Broncos. I know it was a trap game. Looking forward to the Dolphins this coming week. I mean, they really don't lose anything losing to the Broncos, but still, 4 turnovers, man, sickening.
Yeah, you're 6-2. Like you're still doing okay. Broncos are getting better too. I think Sean Payton has finally figured out a formula to where you're letting Russ cook by not letting him
Yeah,
cook, or just adding a bunch of sous chefs being the running game. They ran the ball 40 times. They
yeah,
ran the ball 40 times. Russell Wilson, you look back to his days in Seattle. When were those Seattle teams the most competitive? It's when they ran the football and played good defense. And I mean, hell, that's how John Elway, won in
yeah.
Denver. That's how he got his two Super Bowls in Denver. They ran the ball and they played defense. And
Hmm.
that's the formula for really any quarterback to be successful, but Russ especially.
Yeah,
And
Russell's looked a little bit different in the last 4 weeks. I think ever since I made the Roger Dorn comment, he's kind of cleaned it up. Maybe he was listening that week.
probably
So,
so.
yeah,
Now he only threw the ball, I think, 19 times, but he threw three touchdowns.
yeah.
I mean, you have the running game. It's weird to say, like, I want my $50 million a year quarterback to throw the ball less. But in this case, you absolutely want your $50 million quarterback to throw the ball less.
Yeah, if you run the ball like that, man, yeah, do that every freaking week, dude, because they were just doing anything they wanted to.
Well, I think they found a formula. I mean, Sean Payton, I've touched up on it. I wouldn't. It sounds like I dislike the guy because I constantly call him an egomaniac, and he
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
But he's got an ego because he's really good at what he does. I mean, he's an offensive guru. I'm careful to throw the term genius around, but he's probably up there. He probably is, and he's like, I'm not gonna allow Russ to keep letting me look bad. It's people are gonna start. I think people have even mentioned, like, on Twitter, which or X, whatever it is now, X, formerly
it's
known as
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah,
It's Twitter.
but saying essentially that we're seeing what Sean Payton is without Drew Brees, and Sean Payton's like, okay, enough of this. I'm not gonna let Russ ruin my reputation anymore. So he found a way to make it work. Let's run the ball. And that's a pretty decent committee that they have in Denver. The running back by committee there. But run the ball, play good defense, and they do have a good defense. I mean, we knew this about Denver. All they were was a quarterback away, and they thought they had that, and maybe they still do. They just have to use them correctly, and that's essentially having him throw less.
Yeah.
Run the ball, throw it when you've run the ball enough to establish the run, and you can create passing lanes and open receivers, and just opportunities for Russ to do what he does best. And yeah, that's throw when you've established the run. You can get him outside the pocket, on the move, and find open receivers that way. Allow the play to develop more and the receivers to get open more open. So yeah, there's that. Kirk Cousins, by the way, out for
The season.
Can you hear that, by the way? Is that
Yeah,
your
the
phone going off too?
Amber Alert. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Hope they figure that out, by
Yeah.
the way. But yeah, Kirk Cousins done for the year, and they were just starting to come on. Vikings have won 4 of their last 5, and we talked about it last week. Kirk played great on prime time.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison played great. It was starting to be that fun team, that fun Vikings team to watch, and like Kirk's got the SC top 10 chain going and talking about how listening to Creed got him ready to go for the game. I mean, it's a tough team to
Creed's
not like.
Creed's got a lot of love this past couple of months, man. So,
We're getting a Creed resurgence.
yeah.
I mean, it's Creed became one of those Creed fell into that Nickelback category where it was a mega successful band that people that like that it became cool to not like them.
Yeah.
It
Well,
became cool to hate them essentially. Creed and
well,
Nickelback are in that group.
hands down, the worst concert I've ever been to was a Creed show.
And I've been to
It
2 of
was,
them. Yeah, I've been to
dude,
2 of them.
it was terrible.
And it,
But
and that was because I mean, what else could we do as, young teenagers in Central Arkansas when a big band came to
nothing.
town, even if they weren't necessarily a favorite, you still went. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's what my friends are doing. Hey, we're getting these concerts. Yeah, sure, I'll go. Yeah.
But
But yeah,
anyways, getting back to the Vikings, could you believe some of the names that are getting tossed around on who they're going to get to replace Cousins? I mean, I heard
they've already done that.
Roethlisberger. I know that, but you heard Roethlisberger made a trip to town. The first name I heard was famous Jameis. Kind of got a little excited about watching Jameis go to the Vikings, but they settled on the rocket surgeon Joshua Dobbs. So
Yeah, traded for Josh Dobbs. That went through today. Uh, yeah, my brother and I went to like Lost Pizza, had it for the first time today. It opened up here in Cabot. And so we were like, wow, they're actually like not busy or an open restaurant in Cabot. Thing about Cabot where I live is anytime a new restaurant comes to town, it's jam packed for at least a month. Uh, this town that blew up for because of the local Air Force base as far as blowing up in population.
that's,
It's
it's probably because nobody could find it. You said it was lost, right?
there you go. That's pretty good. Pretty good joke of the
Yeah.
day. And it settled on me. But yeah, we go and they got a TV on the background. Pretty good pizza, by the way. I'll go back. But yeah, they got the TV on in the background. I saw that they traded for Josh Dobbs. That's also where I saw the Chase Young trade. What did they give up for Dobbs? Anything in particular like noteworthy?
I'm not sure. I want to say it was like a third rounder
Yeah,
too.
I would give up a third rounder, I guess, since you're just like in desperate need of a quarterback, really, and you can get him for cheap.
Does that
I
mean
would think.
does that mean we're going to see Mighty Mouse this week
What do you mean? Who do you mean?
for Arizona? Kyler
Oh,
Murray?
okay. I was like, I don't know why that didn't register with me. He was throwing. He was throwing last or this past Sunday. I mean, he was throwing on the sideline. I think he's even been cleared to practice. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if we'll see him or not. But yeah, I don't know who are they gonna put in his place if it's not Kyler Murray. I don't know who else they have. I mean, you took what Josh Dobbs was drafted as a wide receiver, right? And then you just had him playing quarterback, just kind of out of like, well, we got to have somebody. So
I thought he was drafted as a QB.
I thought he was drafted as a wide receiver.
All right.
Uh, Fact check that real quick. Okay, or don't. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm not.
So I am curious. I am kind of curious now, though. But I think that's true. I think he was drafted as a wide receiver. But all right, quick. Okay, touch up a little bit on the. We'll touch up a little bit on the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight, boxing. Everybody thought it was going to be just this one-sided show, and from what I'd heard, it was, Fury outboxed him, which you'd expect. But I mean, Ngannou knocked him down and made it a lot more interesting than it. I don't want to say it should have been. It's Francis Ngannou, but it's Tyson Fury. It's the top heavyweight in the world, and
Yeah,
it was a split decision win for Tyson Fury. If I'm Francis Ngannou, I'm wanting a rematch and more time to train, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, interesting. That's kind of become the big boxing matches now, the crossovers, the crossover fights, and the celebrity fights, which is weird. And I don't know if that's good for the sport. It's getting eyes on it, but it's kind of just shows the state of boxing right now, where there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of stars out there. But um, okay, quick college football update. We have not talked about any of it today because it was, I don't know, not a whole lot going on. Colorado
Yeah,
loses, SC squeaks by. Ohio State named the number one team in the college football playoff. Right? Did I see that
yeah,
right?
yeah. You seen it right? I don't know. I thought that was a fake news, but apparently that's what people think is that they're the number one team in the country. But
Well, these are the top four, right? Is this in order? Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State.
yep,
I'm
with
excited about
Washington and Oregon as the two outliers.
and I could see that makes sense. Nothing's
Yeah,
changed in the Heisman voting. Uh, but yeah,
Washington had another rough week too, man.
they did, but squeaked by. And right,
Yep.
okay, I was like, I assume they wouldn't be in the top six otherwise. But I'm good with that top four. Um, I can't really say one is significantly better than the other. Like I said, there aren't a lot of great college football teams this year. But I know one college football team that isn't great, and that's the Arkansas Razorbacks. But fortunately, we didn't have to see them this week or talk about them, but we'll do that next week. So yeah, we got a week off from Razorback football, so let's celebrate that. But until then, we're gonna get out of here. We're out of time, but we'll see y'all next time. This is Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.
Go Grizz.